Welcome back, friends. It is the start of week 2. Oh, that guy's smile was creepy. Did you see that on the screen? Anyways, it's the start of week 2. We just hit server refresh, I don't know, 45 minutes ago as of this recording. And quite a few people have asked me if I would do some sort of like a, ongoing, how my account's going, etc. And I thought, what better time than the end of the first week? And I'll actually talk a bit more about this too on a podcast, hopefully, with Per Platypus soon. So we've been working out the details in the background, something we talked about on one of my streams the other day. So look forward to that. But I want to keep this kind of not too long. I don't want to say short because it's hard to make this completely short. But effectively, what have I done? So let's just kind of go down the checklist of, different things you do in the game and what I've done and what I have not done. So right now, Miyazame's Palace, I'm in Palace 2 and I am 58% done. I've already gotten to the end of the story part and now I'm just going back and obviously clearing out, getting the 100%. Fully finished with Palace 1. That was a good time. So that's pretty far along. Mementos, all of the first areas 100%, and you can see I've not actually pushed this far. Haven't had a ton of time to do this, and so I've got a lot of mats I can get in there. I'm looking forward to doing that over the next few days. For the Velvet type trials, pretty good stuff here. So on the first Velvet trial, I've pushed it just for the book, so I've done the first 12. Same with these other ones. I've just pushed them far enough, so 2 of these, to get the book things checked off. This is now kind of where my book is at, is I need to do a bunch more of these for the beginner trials, or the beginner book thing. And so I'm going to be knocking these out as well. This is kind of my next big fun thing I want to work on. And then for the score battle, let's see where I'm ranking as of today. So I am top 5%. Yes, I've spent some money. No, I've not chased dupes or anything like that. So, you can definitely, as free to play, get as high as I am. Don't think that you can't. So yeah, I'm sitting at top 5%. And then, and I can actually push that a lot harder. This stupid boss can change his resistances, and he kept resisting physical. And I ran with a Ryuji no healer team. So this score is probably, at least I could get to double that score if that wasn't the case. That's that. For guild boss right now, I got some rewards. Yeah, let's claim this. So in this one, we just had the rollover, and I think our guild was 51, something like that. You can see my positionings up here, 39%, 25%. I can push for a better score at the end of the series, or the end of the 6 days. There's no point in me super pushing right now, but our guild is in the top 100 still. So once it gets to the end of the 6 days, that's when everyone really pushes the score. So that will likely go up unless a bunch of whales are out there destroying us. Nothing you can do about that. So that's kind of the content side of things. On the synergy, let's see, I've got Merope at 7, 4 on Tomoko. I haven't really been pushing her at all. I keep doing other things. 4 on Lufel because that just happens. I haven't really been pushing her, and I haven't even touched her. So I've mostly focused on anything with gems, as well as in the events, you want to finish out your Cafe LeBlanc, and so I just finished that today. So I got my final on one. These are all cleared out. Do your limited time stuff. Don't forget to do these things. You've got plenty of time, 20 more days, but don't neglect it. You don't want to lose those. And then speaking of, since we're in here, Crossroads of Fate, they just opened this new stage today. So I was complete as of last night through here, and now we can do some more. And then from the shop, just to know what I've kind of prioritized in my buying here in case that's of interest. So I have picked up the cards, the coins, and I'm working now on Morgana's weapon. So I've got 2 more dupes of that, which I can get soon enough. Then I'm going to, move into these and then, all these things. So I'll kind of move it down. I'm super out of these, so I might actually prioritize my skill and senses first. But that's the other part of the content. This other stuff everyone's doing, not a big deal. Probably what you're most interested in, actually, before I do that, let's talk about the plans. This is how far I am. So I got to do those Velvet Trial stages, like I said. I got to wait till I get to 46. And then I just have, enhanced weapons, enhanced cards, things like that. So I'm pretty close to being done with the book, but you can't even finish it until, day 16. So well on pace to do this when it's, I guess, how they time it. On pulls, this is 1, 2 things. It kind of ties into my characters. So I did the 50 pull standard, ended up pulling 2 ons while I was pulling. So lucky me. And then I chose Ryuji from the selector eventually. I did on Joker, I got him, I think, on pull 32 or 38 Yeah, 32, because there's 8 left and I was on my 4th multi. So I got them pretty early. I got lucky there. Weapon, I had to go to the first pity. I did not have to roll it over. I won my 50-50, but I did go to pity for the weapon in that regard. Just won the 50-50. And here I just pushed for, you know, 1 5-star. Now I'm kind of holding my tickets. It's so hard not to pull. I was hoping for a Rin, didn't get her. And then Morgana, I actually picked up from the other selector you get from the beginner book. So that's going to leave us with probably the most fun. No, I'm teasing you again. I almost forgot we have Thieves Den. Sorry about that. Thieves Den, just so you know where I'm at, level 16. So I've been trying to get this up as close to that 21 as possible so I can get the 4th slot unlocked. But I have bought a couple things from the shop, so I'm kind of bouncing between the two. That's it. I'm not really going to talk about what buffs that is. You guys will see your own buffs. It's just buy the stuff as you can and you have the coins in there for it. And then social stats, nothing crazy. Oh, apparently I have to sleep. Watch this makes me like go to school and stuff or jump on the bus. We shall see. But let's talk about, we can start talking about characters as this goes through this whole piece here. We're just going to skip through all of this. And for the characters, I'd say I'm pretty satisfied with what I got. I was missing Leo, but I got him from the 4-star selector. And that's fantastic because he was like the last big buffer that I wanted. Whatever. I have no idea if I'm gonna get this right. Let's see. Yes, gentlemen, you get the 7 points whether you're right or wrong, by the way, but there's some achievements tied to getting them right. So do try to get some of them right. But in any case, I got Leon from the selector that you get from the book. So it's part 2, page 1 of the battle plan. So if you want to know exactly where it's at, it's right here. So page 2, part 1. Got Leon from that. And let's see, I am missing Rin, who I would love to have, but worst case I can get her from the 300. I don't care that I don't have Riddle. And I do eventually want to get Yukimi because she's going to be great for Fox specifically, and I want to build a great Fox team. So hopefully, you know, once I start pulling on the standard banner again, she will grace me with her presence. If not, you know, that is what it is. Sadly, if I go through my list here, I have Morgana, have not been able to build him because I am just flat out of like breakthrough mats and skill mats. And so I'm focusing literally on 9 people right now. So Joker, Ryuji, Cattle, the 2 Navis, An, Leon, and Shun, and then what's his face, Key. And so I'm out. And if you're trying to level 9 characters all at once, you're going to be out too at this point. So as far as dupes go, nothing on Joker, nothing on Ryuji. Cattle, let's see what I pulled on him. So I got 1 extra dupe on him. For Okean, let's see. She's got nothing. On, this is like I said, I've got the extra dupe, and then I pulled another one of her from when I was chasing that 80 on the standard banner. Not mad about that at all. Check out my first 6-star, or whatever you want to call it. I pulled all but 1 copy of her, just randomly pulling for other things. So could I get the other 4-star? No, but I can get 5 or 6, whatever it is, of her. And the final one, I kept joking with the community and on stream, I'm like, maybe I should just spend the $5. And a couple people joined the membership for the channel, and a couple people gave super chats, and I said, screw it, the community's having fun with this. And I just went and spent the $5, and I picked up just to make her my first 6-star. And I don't know, it was fun. Do I think you should buy her $5 pack? No, I do not. And honestly, her 6-star isn't going to make or break your game, so don't worry about it. You can probably get it eventually just by pulling the standard banner, but it's just fun. She's my first 6-star. He's default. Shun I pulled a copy of. Kiev got a copy of. Don't care that I have a copy of her. Got a couple copies of him, even though right now I'm not really pushing him. Again, I just don't have the mats for it. Same thing with Katone, so she's not being pushed. Tomoko, like everybody else, apparently wants to grace me with extra copies. And Sumi is what Sumi is, and I won't be building him. So those are my copies. Those are my awakenings. And then for the big stuff, you know, how am I building? So Joker's my most built. I've got all of his skills as max as they can go. His weapon is his 5-star fully at 50. 50 is the highest I can go right now. Revelations, I've not been lucky on his cards, but that's okay. Those will come. So I'm just putting what I can. Ryuji, same thing. So everybody's going to be 50-50 unless I just haven't had the mats. And I just haven't had the mats for my navigators and cattle. The rest of these should all be level 50 weapons and level 50 character level. So that's where they sit for that, just to save you some time on this. And so Ryuji, and this is something I want to show you because I think it's important for everybody. You don't have to level up every skill. You're going to hit these crunches. I'm already in a skill crunch and I don't have enough materials for what I want. But Ryuji for me only uses 2 skills. And so I'm only going to level 2 skills. Joker, the reason I'm leveling all of his skills is just as a fanboy. I would probably skip his skill 2 as of right now. It can be helpful, but 9 times out of 10 I'm not using it. So I'm only doing his to save some resources. Cattle, kind of similar. He needs to be pushed up a little bit more, but I focus more on these 2 on the left, just because it tends to be like a fight where I drop a burn attempt and then an AoE heal. So this is where I put the most use, and so I'll probably start ignoring these a little bit. Who else do we have here? Same thing, I haven't had a chance to really level into her. I would like to. You don't really use her skill 2 too much, and so I'm focusing on 1 and 3. Same thing with An, these 3. I don't really use skill 2, and so I'm just trying to keep those up to date. And these are in blue because of her duplicate, so she gets extra levels, but you can see I can still level them up more. Same thing, you don't, do a ton on her skill 2, and so I focus on 1 and 3. Leo, 2 and 3, 2, 3 and ultimate for him. You don't really use skill 1. So again, you can see the pattern here. Like I am missing mats, so all these people are not at the max that they can be. And then Shun, mostly I use 1 and 2, so I don't, or not 1, so 2 and 3. I don't really use his ice hatchet. I tend to be alternating these or his gun attack. And I don't use his ultimate as often as others, and so this is lagging a little bit. Key, he is mostly going to be using skill 2, so focus there and then into skill 1. Skill 1 can spread burn, which is nice. Skill 3 I don't think is often used. He does use his ultimate to set up on though. These like mini guides, and then the rest of them are just the other characters. I'm not really building into them. And like I said, cards, it's really a mix. So, Ryuji, I have yet to find any of these, but I've got his top card. Cattle is probably my most built, ironically, in terms of the bottom. So he's got a fairly decent lover set, and this is just going to help with his healing. His healing's actually been pretty good for me. Okion, she's got some cards going on. I can start leveling them for my book stuff, but these aren't great cards. I'm just leveling the ones I need to check off the boxes in the book. The cards have not been like limiting my power at all, so that's not a big deal. I've got nothing for on. Nothing has dropped. Puppets, you can see here I've got some of her sets, so she's doing fairly well in terms of building the set pieces, which is what I personally like to prioritize. Leo, same thing, he's got a pretty decent set starting off here, so not too unhappy there. And I have pulled some more cards from the book, I just haven't had a chance to look at them in here. Here's Shun. And then finally here is Leo. So a quick snapshot. So I'm starting to get there. The power is starting to come. I'm starting to get these set bonuses. That helps your scores, helps you burn through things that much quicker. And so overall for week 1, super happy. There's a lot I could say about my feelings towards the game and, how I feel versus how I started KR, how I feel versus current KR, or at least as I'm stopping playing KR, because I'm moving into global. And I think what I'll do is I'll save that for the podcast. It should be coming soon. And then, Per Platypus and I can talk about that probably on the first episode would be my guess. It's the most timely. And so that's it. That's a quick account review, not so much of a guide, but wanted you to see what's going on my account, how I'm progressing. There's plenty of people further than me that have 100%ed all the stuff that they can right now. Look, take this at your pace, have fun with it. My view, play your game, don't play my game, don't play some other streamer or content creator's game. And, I'm going to get there. I've been spending time with my kids, playing Fantasy Life, other obligations, work, etc. And so I feel good about where I'm at right now. And the next content patch is in just a few days. I think something like 4 or 5 days. We were looking at, let's see, it's in, I think in the weapon selectors, which I don't know that I have any left, but I think it said the 7th maybe? It's something like that. It's within the next week. And so I've got time if I want to be 100% before the content patch. But here's the thing, is you're going to do the content patch and then you wait for the next one. So if I've got more mementos to clear or more pals to clear, I don't care. Like, it's fine. I'll do it. It's not a big deal. But that's it. That's my account. My friends, if you like this kind of video, let me know. And I'll keep doing them. I won't do them every week. I don't think that makes much sense. But maybe, every few weeks I'll say, here is how it's going. And if you want them more frequently, they're not that hard for me to film, so just let me know. Or if you just hate this kind of content, well, I'll know it because we'll be watching it. The numbers will be tanking through the roof or through the floor. So that's it. Please like and subscribe on your way out. And with that, my friends, I will see you on our next video. Take care of yourself.